Okay, so this will be our introduction video to Smart Notebook 11. I'm obviously, you're not going to want to watch a video of me using a smartboard because it can be hard to see, so I'm just going to record my screen as I use Smart Notebook 11 directly on my MacBook. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom left hand corner and go ahead and open Smart Notebook 11. We'll see how fast it opens here. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow. So you'll probably notice as soon as it opens that the toolbar that runs along the top where all your little goodies are may look different. Mine may look different than yours, and that's because I've customized mine to suit my needs, and I will show you how to do that in this video. But where I'm going to start first is to basically explain what each one of these little icons do. Some of these I'll explain, some of these I will not. Primarily because some of them have functionality and some of them do not, depending on what kind of smartboard you have and what software package your school or district has purchased. So I'm going to start here with add a page. This one is incredibly simple. It just adds another page here. So you click the green plus button and it adds a page. The little red delete page clearly should tell you that it deletes a page from where you're doing. So if you're doing something that requires multiple steps or multiple pages, so if you're doing, say you have 5 or 6 multiplication or some kind of math problems here, and you want to keep running through those so all your students have a chance to come to the smartboard, you can have multiple pages. And if you have multiple pages, when you go to full screen, you can guide yourself through those pages through this little pop up here, and you can go through the pages 1, 2, or 3, and if you see it says 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, and this button allows you to exit full screen and go back to where you can edit and change. So I'm going to delete those 2 pages that I created. Save. Clearly, if you build a lesson, once you get more comfortable with building lessons, and that's going to be a later video, you can save from here. You can open a lesson from here. This allows me to view full screen. I can adjust this. If you don't have this, you may just have full screen. You may not have anything. Regardless, I'll show you how to add that later. This is my favorite button out of all of them. I'll explain. That's clear ink. Basically anything that's been written with the markers that are on the board. This will delete all ink, which is really cool if you're teaching multiple math lessons or multiple classes. The same lesson allows you to erase the ink instantly rather than having to have separate files for each class. It's pretty neat. I like it. Delete. This is a show hide screen shade. You can, if you want to go through certain parts of the lesson, you want to hide some of it, that's what this allows you to do. Just a neat little thing you can pop up here. This allows you to add tables. So if you're doing something with like a spreadsheet type of thing, or some kind of data table, you can do those. I'll go ahead and delete that. Smart Exchange, we'll go over that later. Measurement tools, over that later. Document camera, go over that later. And then screen capture, that's kind of self-explanatory. It just captures whatever's on the screen and turns it into a picture, so you can share, email a picture back and forth. Add-ons, again, go over that later. Select, that simply takes you out of, like if you're using an ink mode, takes you back into the select mode. Now some of you will have this button directly on the front of your smartboard. Depending on which version you have, you will have a button that looks like a button you can push physically that looks like this on your smartboard, along with the green, red, blue, or black color buttons. Some of you have different smartboards where you have a green, red, blue, or black actual pin that you pick up, and then when you put it down, it will automatically switch you back to this pointer. So it depends on the hardware. If your hardware fails, software's here. That's how you can turn it on or off or switch back automatically. This is the pins. The cool part about the pins, you can change the type of pen. You have a pen, a crayon, a highlighter, creative pen, the magic pen, and the shape recognition pen. We'll go over that later. It works for some smart boards, works for some lessons, doesn't work for others. So there's no point in me going over these two, what they do, if it doesn't apply to everybody. So I'm only going to work with applies to everybody. You have pen, crayon, highlighter, creative pen. Crayon obviously looks like a crayon when you color with it. Highlighter, you can highlight over what you've colored. Creative pen just gives it a different style. You can do different colors. It's just something artsy. And then obviously everybody knows what the typical pen is. Now, remember the clear ink button I talked about earlier? I'm going to go over here and show you what it'll do. Boom. Anything I've written with a pen disappears. I love that button. Now, back to the pen types. You can change the colors here. Again, everybody has the black, red, blue, or green. If you want more colors to choose from, you can do that here. You can change it directly in the software. So if you've got multiple kids and you want each to be able to differentiate between each one's work, you can use this. One kid can be green, blue, red, black, and then you can do purple, orange, whatever you want to do. You can change it here automatically. You can change the thickness of the pen stroke. You can change the line style, where it starts, where it ends. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff just with ink pens, and then you can also change the opacity, so if it's darker or lighter, you can do that as well. You have shapes. It will automatically put a shape, which is really cool if you're trying to teach shapes into younger grades. You can also, for the middle or higher grades, for elementary anyway, for teaching polygons. If you ever tried to draw a decagon, it's almost impossible to get perfect. Well, this one allows you to do it perfectly. You can do lines. If you need to do a curve line, if you're teaching geometry and things like that, and you need to do rays and lines, you can do all that here. You got your start point, the ray going out. A lot of the stuff that you, especially math, this is great. Paint bucket. If you've never used a paint bucket in Microsoft Paint, basically what it allows you to do is color in without having to color physically. You can just use a paint bucket, drop the paint in there, and anything within the lines will be colored that color. So, erase button, everybody knows what erase does, the eraser. So you can come in and you can actually change the size of the eraser, make it bigger, smaller. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the select tool, select this, delete it, select this, and go up here to the delete button. Now, I told you I'd tell you how to customize your toolbar up here. So one more thing I wanted to show you is the undo and redo button. So I can undo the last thing I did and bring back the ray. So if I accidentally delete something and you're like, oh no, what am I going to do? Just come up here, hit undo, and whatever you just did, it will, if you accidentally deleted something or something like that, or you were drawing and you messed up, you can undo and it'll show up. And redo, well, no, I decided I want to do that. I delete that, and it just take you back forward in time. So, how to customize the toolbar up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because come up here to the right hand corner, and you'll see it pops up, customize the toolbar. So I'm going to click on this little gear up in the upper right hand corner, and customize toolbar will pop up. These are all the things that you can add on to your toolbar. All these crazy things. Now, some of them you can use, some of you can't. I said my favorite tool is the clear ink bar. So what I'm going to do first is get rid of the one that I have, so I can show you how to add it. It's incredibly simple to add any of these little widgets, any of these little actions. So you can come over it, you click and hold, and as you pull away, you notice that the cursor changes a little bit. It has a transparent square with a white with the black plus line in it. That's basically telling you, okay, you've got a hold of this thing, now you're going to add it. So you can drag it and you can put it wherever you want. Now you notice all this stuff up here is blacked out, and it gives me the no, you can't do that symbol. I cannot add this in this section, but I can add it to this part of the toolbar. Now, you can add it however you want. Yeah, obviously that straight blue line means it's going to be the longer one, which is the one I prefer. I can split it with the full screen button, but I'm going to put it back the way I had it, to where it's full, and let it go, and boom, it's in my toolbar now. You can even adjust the size of the ones that are already there. These things are smaller primarily because I don't use them as much. These are my two favorite ones, and the reason they're my two favorite ones, and I'll show you. So, you know, you got kids writing, playing, or doing some work, and we're just going to put some ink on the board. So they're writing, playing, I'm in full screen, and it's time for me to switch classes or to give another student an opportunity to show me what he's doing. So I'm going to go here to exit full screen. I can go right here, boom, delete what they've written, go back to full screen, and a new student can start writing. It's almost, you know, barely a second for me to do it with a keyboard and a mouse. It's even faster when you touch it with your fingers. You just hit the button, hit the button, hit the button. Super fast, super easy. Makes the lessons go a lot faster and there's less downtime. Here you can, this is where this little picture frame here, if you're building lessons, you want to add pictures, interactive sections, pages, backgrounds, and themes. That's where all that stuff is if you want to build really, really fancy lessons. Again, that's another video. I'm not going to go in depth there. This is where you can insert files. If you have like sound effects or different things you want to use, that's where you can insert those. You simply go to insert, copy of the file, insert a hyperlink or shortcut to a file on the computer that's connected to the Smart Notebook. This is another way if you want to go, if you don't want to use the toolbar up here and go in a little bit more in depth, you can do fill effects, line style, and page recording. All of that is pretty much right here as well. And then your add-ons, and it's an activity builder. This is where you can start building more interactive lessons, and again, this is a whole other video. I hope this gives you a basic overview. If I went too fast, watch the video again, pause it, go through. The easiest way to learn this and how to use this is to play with it. Honestly, don't be afraid of it. You have the undo button. You can always go back. If you mess something up as you're going through, you have the undo button, you have the redo button. You can always go back and do whatever you needed to do. I hope I was able to help you out. If you have any questions, shoot me an email.